swag out there and boss.
And welcome to another edition of the Sartorial Geek podcast by Webster Style, where we talk about bow ties, comic books, and everything in between. I'm your host, Webster Style, the man, the voice, the fragrance. We've been off for a little bit, but we're back, and let's jump right into the download. Now, during our time away, there have been a plethora of games that have dropped, and this week they're talking about one that came out about 2 weeks ago or so, and it's Atomic Heart, and it is out for the PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, SX, PC, and it's on Game Pass. Now, it's an action first-person shooter from developer Mundfish, publisher Focus Entertainment. It is an adventure first-person shooter which takes place in a alternate universe Soviet Union. The combat of the game consists of shooting and slashing with improvised weapons. A wide variety of enemies is featured, which may be mechanical, biomechanical, biological, and some are airborne. Now, this game is one that many looked at as definitely inspired by BioShock, with its sort of but sort of 1950s futuristic setting with robots, automatons being a part of life, trying to really set up this sort of utopia using technology in a quasi 1950s era Russia. And I will say that I've enjoyed what I've played so far. I'm still working through the game. It is kind of slow getting started, and I know it sets up the story and everything, but that first half hour or so felt like it started or it went too long. As far as the quote-unquote tutorial section and getting up to the story, and it's like, come on, like just get on with it. Let's go. So I was getting a little bit bored with the first. Actually, it's more about the first 45 minutes of the game. But once you get into it and the story really starts to unfold, it is a game that, if you are a fan of the BioShock series, I would definitely pick it up just for their overall aesthetic. But as far as just a first-person shooter as a whole, I enjoy it. I like what the developer has done with this game. I like the setting. It's interesting because I've heard many people speak because of the current geopolitical climate about this game. And listen, it's a work of fiction. It has nothing to do with real world politics. So, hey, it was fun to play. It is fun to play, and I look forward to continuing more in this game. So that's the game, Atomic Heart, available for all platforms, pretty much except for the Switch, for obvious reasons. But another comment though, I will say, and I think this may be one of the times where it may be more so of my television. If you've listened before, you know that my primary gaming TV is like a 720 plasma TV from like 2007. I've had this TV for quite a while, and the game does not look as pretty as it does on the commercial. Now, obviously, the commercials are going to be shown running on the highest end PC or the highest end Xbox, but there are a lot of games when I play them in real life, they look very pretty. This one maybe something about the graininess of the game, especially when I get into the first levels underground and everything. I'm not as impressed by the visuals as I thought I would be. Now, don't get me wrong, they look good. I'm just not as impressed with them as I thought I would be. That might change going forward, or maybe if I hook it up to another television that's of a newer lineage and higher picture output in the house, I'll see a difference. But for right now, I'm just like, it looks okay running on an Xbox One. And yes, I'm talking about an Xbox One, not a Series S or X. But there are a lot of games that come out that on all systems, it's going to be all the Xbox systems, and look absolutely phenomenal on the Xbox One. So that's my take on Atomic Heart. Check it out. If you checked it out, if you played it, let me know what you think. Drop me info drop me a line at info@websterstylemagazine.com or hit me up on the socials. You know how we do. Next up is the short takes. Now, with the short takes, it was kind of hard given a lot of trailers, but let's be frank, a lot of these trailers lately have been absolute garbage. But that is until I saw the Pope's Exorcist. Now, it is inspired by the actual files of Father Gabriel Amorth, chief exorcist of the Vatican. In this case, he is played by Academy Award-winning actor Russell Crowe. So the Pope's Exorcist follows Amorth as he investigates a young boy's terrifying possession and ends up uncovering a centuries-old conspiracy the Vatican has desperately tried to keep secret. Now, let me tell you, if you're not seeing this trailer, watch this trailer. This trailer is freaky. Like, it gives me shades of what an exorcism movie should be like, because we've gotten several in the past couple years, but this is an excellent trailer to really get you hooked into this movie, want to see what's going on. It has enough sort of scares with the whole exorcism and everything. This is definitely a movie I want to see, and it's weird because now you really have to make the distinction of this is a movie I want to see in theaters compared to this is a movie I want to see on streaming. Oh no, this is a movie I want to see in theaters, like straight up. This looks like this would be an amazing movie to watch in the theater. It's we horror fans have had we get to go through many renaissances every now and again. It's like, oh, they don't put out horror, then you got one horror movie as well, and then they start putting out a bunch of horror. We just got Megan in January, which is now out on Peacock Uncut, which I got watched that. A couple other movies that come out. We have now this is coming out as well, so I am looking forward to this when it comes out. Speaking of horror, next up we have The Blackening. So The Blackening centers around a group of black friends who reunite for a Juneteenth weekend getaway, only to find themselves trapped in a remote cabin with a twisted killer, forced to play by his rules. The friends soon realize that this ain't no MFing game. I have to say, this trailer, I did not know what to expect with this trailer. I love it when movies, especially movies dealing with people of color and their cultures, how they're able to really utilize and twist stereotypes, both that communities have within themselves and also say the quote-unquote majority has about them. And The Blackening is definitely one of those movies. Looking at the trailer, it's directed by Tim Story, who's directed a plethora of movies. He directed the Italian Job movies, the original first two Fantastic Four movies, and a whole bunch of other movies that we've all have seen over the years. But I've heard his name in a while, so it's nice to see him directing again. Not saying he went anywhere, but hadn't heard his name in a while. And the writers are from various well-known shows that are on the air at the moment. But I am hard-pressed to get a take on this. I'm not sure if it's played for laughs or played for scares, or it's supposed to be a horror comedy or just horror movie with a little bit of comedy thrown in, because how even the trailer really starts off, as far as once you get into its premise, the sort of opening black enough, and with the gentleman, the nerdy gentleman, stating that he voted for Trump twice, it almost comes off like an SNL skit. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that's the sort of comedy that is there, and then it gets a little bit darker. So I'm very interested to see this movie, particularly because of the tone, and also looks like they're going to really lampoon a lot of those stereotypes very well in this movie. So I am looking forward to that. So that's The Blackening. So definitely short takes, The Pope's Exorcist and The Blackening are two movies I definitely want to see in the theater. All right, now we've got the short takes out of the way. Let's talk about Picard. Now, since we've been gone for about a week or so, we have 2 episodes of Picard to talk about. And I like it this way in this case, because we've gotten to see the evolution of that story. With the episode 2, we got that revelation that Jack was indeed the son of Picard and Beverly, and I liked how that played out. I love the banter between Picard and Riker has this like giddy, like, can't you see this? Like, I see that he looks just like you, he acts just like you, and he's like, why can't you see what we all see, sort of thing. And I love that aspect of it. I love the sneakiness, not so much sneakiness of Jack, but Jack has grown up as this rogue throughout his life with his mom, and it's interesting seeing that lack of it's almost like an alternate universe of a young Picard, and I hate to put it that way, because and I forget the episode where Picard's life changed when he got into the fight with I believe it was the Nausicaans, and he ended up getting, was it Tapestry when we saw that happen and Q rewrote his life, where he didn't take risks and where he stopped taking risks and things of that nature. It's almost as we're seeing Picard if the whole Nausicaan incident never happened in many respects. So I like that part of it as well. Really, we got a very excellent introduction to the villain in episode 2, and the villain knowing all about all of them, just like totally for them, and it really made it hard for them to plan some sort of attack or defense, because there was a genuine element of fear there, because this is an enemy with whom they know nothing about, but she knows all about them, even psych records. When she said something about Shaw and his record, and this flushness that came over his face, great acting, by the way. About he's in his head like, how the fuck do you know about that? Like, you see it, like all of that in his face when she's saying all of these things. So I like that aspect. I like episode 2 because you got a lot more of the character building there. And then with Ravi and her character and doing stupid shit as she does, with Worf coming in to save the day like a damn badass. I loved it, with the half bat left and just slicing people up. This is the one benefit of Star Trek being on a subscription service. Worf can come in and cut off Ferengi heads, and he's a blood splurt and everything else. Not quite anime-ish, but it's damn good in that regard. So, and then we bleed into episode 2. In episode 2, it's very much cat and mouse with the Shrek and the Nebula. You get a lot more evolution of the story, and you come to find out that it's the Changelings, or at least a rogue faction. I love the revelation of that, and how Worf says, I have an old friend in the collective who gave me information in the Great Link. I'm like, oh, that's Odo. Rest in peace, Renee. And I love these connections to bring back the Changelings. I love, because after the Dominion War and after all of that ended, you wonder what happened. And the fact that there's this rogue faction of Changeling terrorists, I love that idea, that intrigue, that you never know who is actually who they're supposed to be, and thus to trust no one from Beverly. And I'm not sure if she was up on that or not, but we will soon find out. I love that reveal. And then the way the Shrek was using that portal weapon to just totally like outwit the Titan. It was so amazing. I love the tech. I love the tech and how they're utilizing it. It was straight like, if you play Portal, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was like Portal in Star Trek had a baby in that episode. It was really great. And then the end, and how totally disgusted Riker was at Picard for listening to him as they slowly drift powerless into the middle of the nebula. That whole episode 3 I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. It was so well done. It was so well shot. I felt like I was, these 3 episodes as a whole, I literally feel like I'm watching a really long Next Gen movie. I have no qualms about Star Trek Picard Season 3 so far. It has been executed masterfully, in my opinion. And if you're not, look, skip the first 2 seasons. Let's be frank about it. Look, 7 of 9, you don't need to know anything about her from watching the first 2 seasons. Same thing with Rabab. You get you get an understanding of her backstory in episode 1 and 2. You don't need to go back and watch season 1. Season 3 right now is where it's at. So definitely check out season 3 of Picard. You will not be disappointed. By the time this drops, episode 4 will be out. So definitely take a look. Now, I have always been one to not like things in my pocket. I ditched a bulky wallet some years ago, and I've been using this travel wallet, the Minimalist travel wallet that I purchased for travel, especially when I was traveling a lot for work back a couple years ago. However, it has really become my main wallet, but that one has gotten a bit long in the tooth, and I've yearned to be even more minimalist. So I recently picked up the Rabab Men's Premium Vegan Leather Minimalist Wallet Card Holder off of Amazon. And surprisingly, for something that claims to be 100% vegan leather made by hand in India, it was just $5 on Prime. So yeah, I'll put that link in the show notes if you're interested. And I have to say, I was really impressed with the quality. I am really trying to minimize what I carry. I don't carry cash most of the time. It's really just cards. And even so, I try to only have 1 or 2 cards with me, and including ID in any given time. But let's be frank, and who's really pulling out every single card that you have with every single account? You're only really taking the ones that you have money in, like for real. But also, I also hooked up all of my prominent accounts to my Google Pay. So I still have access to cards that I don't typically bring with me because of touchless pay or point-to-click pay in many stores nowadays. So this Rabab wallet has a great, I got it in tan, it's a great tan leather color, and it feels really good in the hand. And it's something that seems very durable. I've dropped it, thrown it. I think I've stepped on it at this point in time in the course of the few weeks since I've had it, and it still looks the same as it does the day I took it out of the packaging. And I like the packaging as well. It was like in this box and then in this little bag. So I really liked. It was a branded box with the Rabab name on it, and then wrapped up and in this little bag, and you pulled it out. So I really like the presentation, especially for something that's just $5 on Amazon. So I can't complain with this, and I think it's something, if you're looking for a very minimalist wallet card holder, I think it's definitely something you might want to check out, or something similar. So like I said, I'll leave a link in the show notes to see if they have any more in stock, because it looks like it might be a product that they're phasing out, because I went to the main website outside of Amazon, and it's not something that is on their website as for being sold. So it may be an item they used to have that they've discontinued, that they're using Amazon to get rid of that stock. So definitely check it out when you get the chance. Now, speaking of Amazon, getting to our fragrance of the week, I have been hearing all the rage about fragrances from the house of Lataffa, and how many of their fragrances smell just as good, or if not better, than some of the fragrances they're inspired by. And if you have listened to me before, you know that I have a great affinity for oud. So I decided to pick up, for some reason I thought I was picking up Oud Mood, which is an oud rose fragrance. I ended up picking up Oud Intense, and it's only $25 for a really large and beautiful, in my opinion. I love the gold and brown lettering on here, and again, it's not like a super duper fancy bottle, but I like it. I like the way it feels in the hand. I like the way it looks. For just $25, so 100 mLs for $25 on Amazon with Prime, and you're gonna find notes of saffron and nutmeg in the top, heart notes of geranium, woody notes and labdanum, and then base notes of oud, vanilla, and leather. And let me tell you, I absolutely love this. It is, oh man, for the winter. I mean, I'm gonna wear this all year round, don't get me wrong. But when I first wore it, after I first got it, it was a cold, crisp day, and I did some traveling. And much like, say, when I talk about Echelon from Kimberly, New York, it really emanated from me with my body heat in the cold. Like, it was just like, it was a very nice scent bubble around me the whole day. I got about 10 hours with this fragrance. It's one that honestly I would probably overspray this, and I think I did the first day because I got a comment from the spouse on that, how it was like literally I was 5 feet away from her and she smelled me. So it's definitely one that has projection, especially if you overspray, but I absolutely love it, man. This is one I would wear every day, but I know sometimes it's too heavy for what I need it for. But it is such a nice, the oud is beautiful, the spiciness, the woody notes, and again, I am a sucker for vanilla in a fragrance, so I love the vanilla and the leather as well. That base with the combination of the oud, the leather, and the vanilla just works so well. And I'm actually wearing it today. Today I actually wore it in combination with the oud wood shea butter that I picked up from ATL Perfume Chick. I love the combination. I love how the oud wood just heightens the oud. In this, it did that in Zaharov as well when I wore them together. But I like this. The only thing I don't like though, and this is something I noticed, and this is because of the shea butter. Once the fragrance from the shea butter dies down, the prominence of the shea butter smell itself is really there, and that's a very stark contrast to the fragrance. And even by that point in time, everything's very much a skin scent. That shea smell really overpowers any remnant of the fragrance that is there. So that is my only thing about that, and using that as a moisturizer or even as a layering device when it comes to not just intense oud, but every fragrance that I have really tested out as a layer with the oud wood. So that's what I am wearing, and who knows what I'm going to wear today. But today is a new day, and a new day to you, or that you can support us in many different ways. You can become a producer on Patreon for as low as $1 a month. That's right, I'd buy that I buy that for $1, and you should buy that for $1 too. Or you can also check us out and use our affiliate link on Pete and Pedro. Now, one of the things about Pete and Pedro is that I really love, and I mean love because I've bought from them, their fragrance line. It is a line that is inspired by some of the most prominent fragrances, designer fragrances out there, for the affordable price of just $49 for a 50 ml bottle. I've talked at length about Villain, which is an interpretation or inspired by Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanilla, however you pronounce it. And I love them. I think that you will too, but also have a whole host of hair and grooming products there as well. If you're interested, use the code EHawks10 for 10% off your first purchase, or the code in the show notes as well. Also, I am very much always trying to find ways to not suck down coffee all day. try to find other ways of natural energy, a little pick me up when I need it. And W Energy Drink is one that I found to be very useful. And if you're interested, pick up 10% off your first order using the code WebsterMan or the link in the show notes. But you know, this is the end, and you can find me literally everywhere on the internet nowadays. You can find me every week with my man Brian Saff over on Nerds Rule the World, talking about the latest video games with the NRW checkpoint. You can always also talk to me and see me talking wrestling, baby, with Kuya P and Sean Mangold, also Nerds Rule the World on Kayfabe Baby, the NRW Ring Generals podcast. Of course, you can find me on social media, Instagram, Webster Style, and Sartorial and Geek, Twitter, Webster Style, TikTok, _Webster Style, and of course, anything and everything that is Webster Style can be found at websterstyle.com. And again, questions, comments, want to be on the show, drop me an email at info@websterstylemagazine.com. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your listening ear. And remember, stay safe out there and be blessed.
Strong, we can lift him to the sky. The party's up to 12. We got a little time to get it on. And on fact, I'm the type who puts it on. And after that, take a picture with your phone of the outfit. I'm choosing what we own. That was Tree Green Tuesday. Had to be Bow Tie Thursday. Had to be White Wednesday. Well, I know last time. Well, I wore polka dot. You didn't wear. Miss Millie on them heels killing them, but I'm sure it's a Thursday. Bow tie Thursday. Pasta cream in your heels looking sharp, babe. Acting like you don't know the rules up in the workplace. Must I remind you it was till on your birthday? Don't get me wrong, I think we killed in the birthdays. And you picked the hella fit for the church day. Let's say you picked the wrist game for it. Now you got the floor filled with bras that you purchase. Pick a color scheme that can match your berry corset. Get the berry cream. Berry cream, get the berry cream, we can make a little scene. Cause no one man should have all that styling. Take it off, clothes on the floor piling. No one girl should fit it all in them jeans. So take it up and let me see what's under them seams. Cause no one man should have all that styling. Take it off, clothes on the floor piling. No one girl should fit it all in them jeans. So take it up and let me see what's under them seams. Let's see what it seems. If it is what it seems. Do it again. Chicks be looking thick leggings, you know what I mean? I don't know. Take a hint though, don't try to get me at a moment. Coat mint though, smoking hot, rocking this pin so thin. Tie hairline, looking like a stencil pin. No lie, I'm sharper than a utensil. Instrumental, plain dang, homie. I was hoping we could walk out with that bang bang, honey. See them plain Janes, honey. Them lame frames, funny. We tell it fit it crazy like that thing came on me. Hey, mommy, look a lady, main thing. Want me on the scene, fit popping like a main vein, running blood color lips, smashing with the hand clutch money, holding back. Kinda funny, can you tell me what's the price tag of the Range Rover? Hang on me when we walking, looking Gucci like that thing sprayed on me. Walking with a limp like an ankle sprained on me. Yeah, I rock the cardigan. She don't really want me because one man should have all that styling. Take it out, clothes on the floor, piling. No one girl should fit it all in them jeans. So take it up and let me see what's under them seams. Cause no one man should have all that styling. Take it out, clothes on the floor, piling. No one girl should fit it all in them jeans. So take it up and let me see what's under them seams. Hey, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Aim off and on the middle alone. Aim off and on the middle alone. Cause no one man should have all that styling. Take it off, clothes on the floor piling. No one girl should fit it all in them jeans. So take it up and let me see what's under them seams. Oh, you want to say? Oh, I completely read that wrong.